Hello, beautiful teamies. How are you? It's Berit, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to present our business. We're going to get into what to do before our presentation, what to do during our presentation, and also what to do after our presentation. So yeah, I hope that after this video you feel that or you feel a little bit more confident when it comes to presenting our business, because it's actually very simple if you keep it simple. So let's just start, and we're going to start talking a little bit about what to do before a presentation. And this is so important, because if you, like what I did in the beginning of my business, I was just dragging people, anyone, into have a look at the business. So I was just inviting everyone. I was kind of like throwing the information out there on, you know, all the people I got in contact with. I was like, oh, have a look at this business. And what happens when you do that is actually that you and the business lose its value, because everyone is just like, oh, my friend got the same message, my friend got the same video, you know. So it's so important that you put value on yourself and your business, and of course your time as well. And I'm so bad remembering numbers, but they say that I think it's like 80 or 90% is actually the decision, or what's going to happen with that person that you have in front of you, is actually made before the presentation. So the work you do before a presentation is actually super important. And what you want to do is, number one, ask questions. So before you pop the question about the business, you want to kind of like pre-qualify the person in front of you. You don't want to invite anyone. Like, just imagine if you had a regular business. You wouldn't just go out on the street and just drag people in like, oh, you come here, like everyone. So this goes, I'm not going to go into invitation and, you know, like your contact list and the invitation process now. But this is really, it's so important that before you present the business, that you actually talk with the person, ask questions, have a normal conversation, be a normal person. If a person in front of you, if you don't feel like a click, if you don't feel a connection, maybe that's not a person that you are going to, you know, like create a good relationship and also partnership with, because it's so important that you have a good connection with the people that you work with. So just be a little bit, how can I say, selective, like, you know, always quality over quantity. To hit Blue Diamond and the top of the compensation plan in our business, you actually only need 6. So 6 like serious good partnership. So always just, you know, think about yourself, put value on yourself, and just, you know, evaluate based on the question and the conversation you have with that person, if you want to work with this person or not. So ask questions, and then create curiosity. This is so important as well. Never present through text. And I just want to give an example, because I have been invited to this business twice. The first time I was invited just with a product catalog. The guy was like, oh, you know, maybe this is some product, here are some products, maybe you can sell them. And I was kind of like, okay, number one, I'm not into products. Number two, I'm not into selling. So no, I'm not. I took the catalog, I actually brought it back home, but I was kind of, why? Like, why did he ask me? So no questions, nothing about me, like, what do you want, you know, nothing like that. The second time I was invited was very random as well, but the guy, what he did, he created so much curiosity in me, because what he said, he messaged me, and at first I kind of, you know, wonder, why is he getting in contact? I haven't been talking to this guy for, you know, 10 years. Why is he? It was kind of a little bit random. But then he said, you know, Berit, I know that you are looking for something. I know that you love to travel, and I know that, you know, you love that lifestyle, because I was sharing about that a little bit online and also with some friends. So probably you heard that from someone. And then he said, I recently came across a business information, and this might be interesting for you. Like, this might actually be something that can give you the freedom that you're looking for. You owe yourself to have a look at this. That's what he said. And can you imagine me? I was in a job I hated, and I just wanted to be free. So of course I became curious. He asked me questions. He was going into my why. It was not like, oh, have a look at this, selling some products. You know, he was actually into me. He gave me some compliments. He made me curious. And then this thing about never present through text, because when I was curious, of course, I asked him, you know, what is this? Tell me more. And he just said, you know, I think it's better. He didn't say no, I don't want to tell you more, but he said, if it's okay with you, I think it's better for you that you come to a presentation, and it was a in-person presentation. I think it's better for you that you come on a presentation on Wednesday, and then you see it for yourself. Because if I'm going to start to try to explain it through text, maybe you misunderstand and don't see the whole picture. So that's so important that you don't, because if you try to explain yourself through text, you might actually take the business away from people. Because if this guy said to me through the message, if he said that, oh, you know, it's about Nu Skin, it's about selling products, I would never have gone to that business presentation, and I would probably not be here today. So don't try, like, even though you are, if you think that or if you think that about yourself, that you are very good on explaining and, you know, talking and, you know, through text, just don't do it, because it's impossible to explain a business through a text. So just never do that. Just create curiosity, and then if a person is like, oh, tell me more, then just say what the guy said to me. Is it okay? Ask, is it okay for you that instead of me trying to explain now, I think it's going to be confusing for you. So it's not that you don't want to explain, but it's more for that person, so that person can see the whole business and then make a decision based on that. So what that person decides to do after seeing the presentation, it's totally up to that person. But just for that person to actually see the big picture. And I was also getting into this, the last point here, the person's why. So, and what this quote, I love quotes. For those of you who knows me, you know I love quotes. But this one is saying, strong reasons make strong actions. And that's the thing. The guy, when he invited me, he knew my why. He was getting right into my feelings. Like, as soon as he said, oh, it's a business opportunity, might be able to give you the freedom, I just started to see how my life could look like if this was something that I could actually do. So what you want to do is to ask questions, so you get to know the person's why. So it might be, you know, oh, they want some extra, they are complaining that they never have cash to go out, they are complaining that they want to travel more but they can't afford it. Maybe they are talking about they want to spend more time with their kids, you know, can be different things. But just listen. When you talk to people, just listen for kind of like problems. What are people looking for? And then you are here with a solution that you can offer. So just make sure that the person, before you link them on to a presentation, make sure that the person know why he or she is going to have a look at the business, because then it's a totally different game when it comes to following up and getting started. Because how are you going to get started with a person who is just there to, oh, okay, looks interesting, you know, no goals, no dreams, nothing. So you need to know the person's why. Then the rest of the process is so much easier. And then when you have a person that is keen, she or he is on it and want to know more, don't present through text, but set the appointment. And I'm going to share a few different ways that you can present as well. But first you want to set the appointment. And what I recommend you to do, or this is just small tips and advice, is to not say that, oh, you know, every Wednesday we have business presentations. Are you available at, you know, 11 a.m. Norwegian time or set, or 10 p.m. If you say that and you give two times, or you come up with two different times that you can do the presentation, there's very likely, like a very big chance that that person can't do any of those 2 times. So what you want to do instead is to ask, instead of like suggesting, can you do this day, and then that person, oh, you know, then I'm at work and in the evening I'm going to watch a movie, or, you know, dinner or whatever. And then you say, oh, okay, but what about next week? What about, and then when you when you keep coming up with new like suggestions on times that you can do the presentation, it's getting into a point where it sounds like it's more important for you to have that person on a presentation than for that person to be on a presentation. And then it kind of just gets awkward and kind of, you know. So what you want to do instead is to ask a person something like this. And you don't have to use this word by word. Just, you know, take this idea and use your own word, because the person or the person you are talking to is going to see if it's a copy paste or if you are using your own words. Normally, when I do this, I actually send a voice message. So you can ask, like, how is your schedule the next couple of days? How is your schedule this week? Let me know what day and what time suits for you, and I'll have a look as well when I'm available. And what happens then is that person is going to say to you, oh, I can do Thursday evening, like I'm free from 6 p.m. in the evening, both on Thursday or Friday. And then you can come and say, okay, 8 p.m. on Thursday. That's it. So this is a way of, you know, like, it's so much easier to set an appointment when you do it like this, instead of you coming up with and kind of like limiting yourself to the weekly presentations we have, because there's other ways of presenting as well. So you don't want to just limit yourself, oh, only Wednesdays, that's the only way I can present the business. At least for me, when I started, I wanted to be able to work when I wanted, and I wanted to be how can I say, like, not free, but I wanted to be able to build my business also when my business moms were offline. I wanted to be able to build my business also when it wasn't an online business presentation. And yeah, you just want to be able to grow your business whenever it suits for you and whenever it suits for the people that you are involving in the business. So when you are going to present the business, you have you know, done the work before the presentation, you have set appointment, and then again, never ever try to explain the business through text. Like, don't even try to explain the community and send a link, Nu Skin, send a link to Nu Skin's website. Don't, like, say as little as you can, create curiosity, and just focus on the person's why. And then when you are going to present the business, what I normally do myself and what I recommend you to do is, of course, number one, use our online business presentations. But if you have a person that is saying to you, I can only do Thursdays, you know, evening, then you don't want to kind of like cancel that just because we have our presentations on Wednesday. So of course, if the person is saying to you, I'm free the whole Wednesday, then of course use the online business presentations. But if that is not possible for you, use the mini presentations. We have a few videos on like, I think there's one on like 10 minutes, and we have one at like 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And there's going to be more as well coming. We will put them in the comment section below this video, so they are easy to find. Then you can use these videos. And what I recommend you to do when you are using these videos is to treat this exactly the same way as when you are doing the online business presentation. So for example, say if I talk with a girl and we are, say if it's Monday today and we are scheduling to talk tomorrow on Tuesday, 8 p.m., then I don't send her the mini presentation or the video, the introduction for the business. I don't send that to her today. I wait till tomorrow, and 5 to 8, 5 minutes before we are talking, I send her a message, or a lot of times as well, I get a message from the person saying, I'm ready, I'm here. And then what I do is I send a mini presentation to the person, and then she watch it, I watch it, 10 minutes or however long the video is, and then we call after the video. You can of course call a person and present yourself as well, but I find it much easier, and I feel like I'm saving my energy and my time as well when you have a video that you can send the person and then you talk, you catch up and talk after. So use the mini presentations, or you can even create your own. It's no, you know, like, how can I say, it's not a hard thing. It's not difficult to create your own presentation. We even have PowerPoints already that you can use, and we also have a script actually that you can not use like word by word, but use it as a kind of like inspiration, and then you do our presentation with your own word and your own story. That's a better thing to do. So if you don't have access to these PowerPoints and the script, just ask your nearest business mom who is a brand representative, and she can share that with you. That's no problem. So then you spend some time creating a video, but then you can keep reusing that and send it to every single business partner or potential partner that you are presenting for. So just make sure that you don't send, like I said, send the video when you have the appointment. Don't send the video the day before. Sometimes the person can start to look into it and then talk to, you know, some friends, and they say, oh, I've heard about this, don't get into it, because that's people. So you don't want to send the video 1 day or 2 days before your appointment. You send the video on the appointment, you watch the video, and then you call after. And I just want to say one thing for what to do during the presentations or the presentation. It's not a lot to do. The only thing you want to do is to be present. I see this so often, and that is, you know, people send their potential partners into a presentation without being online themselves. And this can actually be enough for the person to say no. Because you invite a person for a partnership, you invite a person for, you know, come here, join, like, let's work together. And then the person join a presentation, especially when it's an online presentation, you know, you can see the people that are online and your name is not there. So this is very unprofessional, and it doesn't work. You can try to do it, but like, if you want to succeed, just don't do it. Just trust us on this. You have to be present yourself. And this comes, the same thing goes for the, if you send a video. So say with a girl, I have an appointment tomorrow at 8 p.m. So 5 to 8, I send her a message, or she message me, and then I send her the video. In, like, when you send the video, don't go and wash the dishes and do something else. You sit down and watch the video as well. The same with the presentation. If you have a girl in a presentation, be online yourself and watch the presentation. You have to be mentally in the room, like, you have to be mentally there if you want to do this business, like, if you want to actually build a business. If not, it's going to, you know, I remember in the beginning of my business, I was kind of like, oh, the job is to get people into the presentation. But no, that's not the job. The job starts when you have a person on the presentation. So I even have like a small checklist for myself that I always go through when I have a new person. So I just sit down and I'm mentally there. I'm present with that person. I don't care about everything around. I'm there because this can actually be the next big, you know, star in the business. You never know. And if you're not present, you might actually lose this person, because if the person is online, you are not there. It's kind of like, okay, I thought we were going to do this together. So this is just, it's so important. And then after a presentation, to end this video, what to do after a presentation is to always follow up. Never, and this kind of goes together with what you do, what you're doing during the presentation, because if you are present, you will follow up. The only way you are not following up is because you are out doing something else. So if you are present during the presentation, it's normal to follow up. Then you message the person after, hey, did that, like, how are you doing? So awesome to see you online. Did this make sense to you? So always follow up. And what I recommend you to do is to call. Like the last few years, my good and serious partnerships that I have started, they all came through presentation and then follow up where I called them. So, you know, this can be a little bit scary in the beginning because you don't know what the person is going to say. And that's the fun part, you know, it's uncomfortable. And yeah, that's a fun part. And to get to know people and to hear more about that person and what that person wants. So just always call and follow up with that person. Call and just say, hey, awesome, like I said, hey, awesome to see you online. Did this make sense for you? Do you see how you can use this in your life to get more time with your kids? Do you see how you can use this in your life to get more freedom to travel. So follow up on the why. And this is why it's so important to it's so important the work you do before the presentation, because if you know the person's why, it's super easy to follow up. Then you just ask, do you see how you can use this in your life to get, and then you put in the person's why. And if you are new, or when you are new in this business, if you are not like super comfortable doing this yourself, you can ask your business mom to join, so you can do a 3-way call. So you ask your business mom to join, and then of course you have to prepare this. So you have to ask your business mom before the call, and you have to ask the person as well, is it okay that I link on one of the girls I'm working with? I'm very, very new in the business, so it would just be good for you that she is there, so she can, if there's anything I can't, answer, she is there to help. Is that okay for you? So always ask. What you want to do on this catch-up or on this follow-up after a presentation is to only talk about goals. You want to answer questions, of course, and I'm not going to get into that either. We're going to have another video and script where you can learn more about that. But you want to talk about goals. You don't want to keep presenting. This is a big mistake a lot of people do, including me. So on my checklist before I talk with a person, I have listen more, talk less. That's one of the things on my list, because after a presentation, we are just like, excited. We want to share. We want to talk about the products. We want to talk about the compensation time. We have so much we want to tell this person. But then you have to remember this person is new. Like it's remember when the first day in school, imagine if the teacher just throwed everything you're going to learn within the 5 next years on you. You would be overwhelmed, and sometimes you actually step back and you think, oh, I don't think this is anything for me. So after a presentation, sip it. You're not going to keep talking, sharing. And also one thing that is super important is to don't start to talk about qualification. Don't start to talk like, oh, LOI and, brand representative, because this person doesn't know what this means. So just talk a language that this person understand. And talk about goals, like what do you when you saw this, where do you see yourself, what do you want this month, talk about goals and only answer questions. Don't keep presenting. Then the next thing you want to do is to register at Nu Skin, make a brand affiliate account, do this together. So guide the person through this process. Start to look at the products, place the first order, share what products did you start with. Maybe if you have some products around, you can share the products that you have. Make the person excited about the products. Ask the person as well, what kind of products are you into? What kind of products do you use today? Maybe, get the person into the person's bathroom and have a look. Are you empty of anything? And maybe the person says that, I'm almost empty of hair products. Then you can show the hair products. I'm almost empty of foundation. Then you can show the products. So just start to look into the products and get the person excited about the products. And then what you want to do next is to add the person into the Get Started group, welcome the person, of course, and schedule your next call. And this is important, like schedule your next call with the person within 48 hours and also give a task based on the person's goals. And this is so important because there's no right or wrong when it comes to following up and starting new people, because this is a human, like people business. So you can't do what you do with one person might not work with another one. So the most important thing is to listen. And when you give a task or schedule your next call, do that based on what the person says to you. So for example, I've had people, and you're going to have people as well, they might say to you that, I'm keen to get started, a little bit slow, maybe start to use some of the products, get to know the products. They want to do it in that way, if I can call it a slow way. Then it might not be super important to have that call within the next 48 hours. Then it might maybe be better to place the order and then just call again with the person when that person receives the products, because this person seems to be more into the trying the products. So then you can have a Skype or a call where you unbox or unpack the products together. So that's one thing you can do. But if a person is kind of like, okay, I want to get started, then you schedule next call within 48 hours. And then you can say to that person, for example, I have a few tasks for you if you are keen. Most likely the person, she or he is on it, so he or she is going to say yes. And then you can say, before we talk on Thursday, I want you to, number one, get started with your 101 goal list. Get started on your what you want to achieve. Write down both small, like short-term goals, like maybe you have some bills you have to pay this month, or maybe you know, like small goals that you want to achieve quickly. And then also write down long-term goals, like things you want to achieve within the next year, within the next 2 years, within the next 5 years. So 101 goal list, start on your dream board. So start to actually print some of the stuff you want to achieve, some of the places you want to travel, maybe a photo of your kids, you know. Start to work on your dream board. And then if you're keen for it, let's get started with your Facebook group. That's like our beginning. So just give a task for that person to get started while the person is waiting for the product, at least if the person is, you know, excited to get started, because there's so many things you can do before you receive the product. They can set up their Facebook group, they can create you know, the cover photo, they can do the group description, they can even do a welcome video. They can start to create curiosity about what they are about to get started with. So guys, I hope that this was valuable for you. I hope that this made sense and that you feel more confident about what to do before a presentation, what to do during, and what to do after. And like I said, this is just, there's no right or wrong. You just have to, this is a business where you have to kind of, the more you do this, the better you become on communicating with people. That's really what it's about. Listen to people, listen to the person in front of you, and just know that this is not about you building your team. It's not like, oh, this person is going to join your team so you can build your business. This is about that person. When you get that, when you realize, you know, focus on the person in front of you, when you help other people to achieve their goals, you will achieve yours as well. So focus on the person in front of you and how you can help and serve that person, and then success is going to come back at you. So thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, get back to your business mom, and then have fun, take action, and make a difference.